multiple categories, and Entu holding his own set, a couple world records. So this should be a lot of. So a little breakdown of the game itself. We are the ninja. You have to stop the Demon King from destroying the world. We leave our ninja village. We head up towards the tower, and we've got to deliver this message to the Tower of Time at the top of Glacial Peak. We'll talk about that as we go through each stage, but we're just waiting here for these two to get going. And of course, mine's behind, so I'm talking like I have no idea what's going on. So we're in Ninja Village now, just about to leave it actually. This is where you learn about this game's double jump. Just simple, you have to slash something in order to actually get your double jump. That's all it comes down to. It's nothing special. It's just, it's a simple double jump, but you have to earn it, and there's nothing wrong. As we see here right now, the Western hero is flying in from the west, obviously. Gonna kill up a couple of demons and stop the Demon King in his tracks for this current moment. And he's gonna give us the scroll, we're gonna run, and then we're gonna start actually doing fun things. Pretty standard times on both ends, coming from the Ninja Village. It's literally what it is. You get your double jumps, and you're learning the mechanics behind it. Since the devs love us in the speedrunning community, they are... I'm sorry. The devs love us, so they gave us a button to avoid the mashing, which we definitely needed. A lot of our forearms were killing us afterward. So here we are in Autumn Hills. It's your basic platforming level. Not a lot of tricks to be had, a couple of damage boosts. The main first thing is getting these 40 time shards, which both of them did get. And they're going to get the climbing claws here, plus the projectile slash, giving them the ability to stop projectiles in their tracks, giving them an extra cloud step. So there's not a lot of tricks going on in Autumn Hills here, just a lot of basic platforming, getting used to your cloud step. And for the most part, if you're running this casually, you're trying to just build up time shards and get some stuff. As speedrunners, we are just trying to get this level done at a reasonable pace. 2C and Entu both get the same right damage boost, which is very important. It's all about how you jump off of that edge of that platform. And that's about it. So, shout out to Rainbow Dragon Eyes, who did possibly one of the greatest soundtracks of 2018. There's no doubt about it. The music fits with each level properly, and he even added in water sections that muffle the sound, which is absolutely amazing. Unfortunately, we are not going to be hearing that a lot. There's very little water in the 8-bit section of the game, so you're just going to hear the unfiltered, amazing soundtrack that is the message. And 2C opting for the Spike Tower damage boost when Entu goes underneath it. That's a risky strat on 2C's part. Thankfully, it did pay off for him, so he's going to get a little bit of a lead. Both runners moving at great pace. It's just 2C actually just went for a strat that not a lot of people go for, and it paid off. That was good for him. Right here, 2C and Entu are both entering this room with the pendulum swing, both opting to basically skip the room by hitting that demon properly and getting a nice cloud step in. As you can see, you can also double slash lanterns. Basically, what you want to do is jump and slash and jump and slash again, so you get a second cloud step off of it, allowing you to traverse a lot of sections that are a little bit tighter. This giving them the option to make it past a couple of tight corridors. You'll see it a lot more in Bamboo Creek more than in Autumn Hills. So 2C's entering the hallway where the last shot before the boss is. He's going to pick up some shurikens and some damage rebound. Entu's going to do the same here now while 2C enters the boss fight. This boss is pretty straightforward. You walk up, you hit him, and then you slash him as much as possible while throwing the 3 shurikens you have. And it's a nice, quick first cycle. Great way to introduce yourself to the bosses of this game. Tusi getting the first cycle very easily. Entu coming very close to not getting it, but he does pull it off. Good job, both of you. So now we enter literally the shorter section of the 8-bit run, Forlorn Temper. I think it's like totally a total of like 10 seconds, something like that. Basically comes down to jumping a couple of platforms and going in. Where we enter now, Catacombs for both runners. Sorry about that, fighting a little bit of a cough, hence the push to talk. Catacombs is all about tight platforming. There are a lot of crushers. There's some wrecking balls, or spiked wrecking balls, I should say. And it's all about avoiding them and getting through them as quickly as possible. As you can see, both runners did manage to make the first cycle of the first crusher, and they both enter the first fighting stage, I guess, with Ruxton. It's our first little indication of who Ruxton is, the main boss of this general area. So far, both runners are on great pace for Catacombs, missing all of the first cycles right off the bat. You can't expect any less from these two, to be completely honest. These are two of the best runners that we have right now, guys. You guys know all of the works are coming out. Everybody's going to be trying whatever it takes to win this race. This is the semifinals. Both of these runners want to make it to the finals, and they're going to pull out everything that they need to. So both 2C and Entu opting to not damage boost here, but they're going to wait for their damage boost a little bit later in a much easier section to pull off and a lot more rewarding in the end, to be honest. It's just all around safer because you've got a lot more room to go through with that last damage boost than you do in this next. So 2C's about to enter a RNG-based room, depending on these whiz robes, which are the only enemy in the game that actually have true RNG. They're going to go wherever they want after they teleport the first time. So hopefully he gets some good RNG. And it looks like he did get decent RNG. Entu's in the same room now, so let's see what he does. They both get pretty much the same. It's a little bit different. 2C had to jump for his, and Entu didn't. 2C did get a right damage boost in the swing room, which is a little unfortunate. Same thing happened to Entu, but they both recovered perfectly fine. 2C in a room that a lot of people love. I like to call it the monster elevator. Just saying. Where you utilize your cloud step to just bypass everything, and then the room next to it where you fall. 2C now entering the last of the first cycle crushers, and he did manage to pull it off. Great job. Entu looking to do the same exact strategy and managed to do it. Perfect. Both runners are going to be entering Ruxton here shortly, which is the boss of Catacombs, which is the first boss with RNG as well, based on which fight we're going to get. There is a high and a low Ruxton. High Ruxton is the preferred fight. It is much quicker. Let's see what these guys. It looks like 2C did manage to pull off the High Ruxton. Good job. He's going to get a nice quick kill here, and so did Entu. Great. We're going to get out of Catacombs here within like the next 10. Great fight by both of them. It's literally right now it's coming down to that spike tower in Autumn Hills having 2C get that early lead. We're gonna take a look at Bamboo Creek. I'm sure there's a lot of Bamboo boys out in the chat right now. Feel free to give out those shovels. Bamboo Creek is all about using everything that we've learned so far in this game and really getting in some tight-knit platforming. It's a lot of fun. My personal favorite stage. So 2C moving along at a perfect pace, doing everything that you would expect him to do. He did opt to jump over the Green Demon, which is surprising because most people are actually killing it nowadays. Same thing with Entu. That's nice. It's very unfortunate that both of these runners are going to be running at the same strats. It did look like 2C did miss a crucial jump that Entu's going to capitalize on and probably try and catch up a little bit here. As 2C enters this room, we're going to be talking about the next room, which is where the first mess up can happen, and he does use the optional fireball to make that trick a little bit easier where Entu did not. So going over that tree is not out of bounds. It is just a nice quick little platform to get you up and over there quickly and safely without using that swing and avoiding that buzzsaw. Looks like 2C is going to avoid the Entu skip in Bamboo, and Entu's actually going to do the same. It's a trick that Entu himself did come up with, but he's been a little bit out of practice with, so it's understandable that he is avoiding it at this point, just because if it's not secured that you're going to land it, you don't want to risk that, because that's a lot of time. As you can see in these rooms right here that 2C's in and Entu's about to be in, there's a lot of double slashing going on so that you can make sure you traverse these rooms without ever touching the ground. It looks like both runners have more than enough time shards to purchase the wingsuit attack, which is a extra ability that the last thing we actually purchased for the most part. Allows us to do an extra slash while we use our wingsuit, which is what 2C is about to scoop up right here in this next shop in the next. This is a very, very close race. Again, all coming down to that spike tower skip. I was very surprised that 2C went for that. 2C does opt to go for the YOLO jump, which is really impressive. Again, something I didn't expect him to do, but... Susie entering the ever charmfully named Donkey Kong room, where we get our first Hey. Another good shout out to Rainbow Dragon Eyes for this amazing soundtrack, who took the time to go out to Quebec City and record the devs actually saying Hey. I thought that was pretty funny, to be honest with you. So as you can see, Howling Grotto here is very tight. A lot of the jumps with a lot of spikes nearby. One slip of the finger and you take off your wingsuit, you're going to get a lot of damage. Spikes do 3, guaranteed until you get the spike armor itself. which you don't usually get until late. If you watch 2C, he gets a nice little speed boost out of using the water dash, which is the one time that 8-bit actually uses that, and Entu gets about the same speed to be. Nearing pretty much the end of Grotto. There's really not a lot left here. Like I said, you got a lot of tight platforming here. Really utilizing that wingsuit, which is the tech you just get in this particular section. It's a great showcase level. That's what I figured this whole section was about. So 2C is gonna enter the boss here. It's the Emerald Golem. This guy just wants to smash some rocks, let's be honest about this. And we just come in and smack him around a little bit because he's in our way. Gonna throw some shade at the ninja for being aggressive. So 2C opting to go for the 2-cycle strat, same thing with Entu. You'd expect nothing less from these two. These guys have some of the best times on our leaderboards. You're more than welcome to look them up. It is just ridiculous how fast these two are. Like, we have a race between, I think, the number 2 and the number 3 spot for the 8-bit, so... A little bit of RNG hatred for 2C. He had to go flying to the right, which is just a little bit slower than if it were to go to the left. Same thing happened to Entu, though. Execution is what this comes down to. Entu landing, finishing his on the bottom of the screen, while 2C was about midway up his screen. It's all going to come down to who lands first, who's going to get that time bonus, and it looked like Entu is going to try and get that catch up a little bit quicker. Here we had our Quill Shroom, which is notorious for its long rooms. This is where you're going to see a lot of that wingsuit dash, where we like to just bop these guys on the heads like we're playing Mario and just keep going and not stopping until we land somewhere. 2C's about to enter the long room itself, which is literally like the name suggests. It is one long room with 2 checkpoints in it, and the whole point is to just get to the end as quickly as you can while utilizing your wingsuit the best you can, or any method you can, really. Watching these two is like just watching a slight delay on a mirror. It's both of them very precise, very on the money with these wingsuit slashes. It's just, this is a good race to watch, guys. I'm sorry if I'm being a little too quiet with those pauses. 2C's just running a great game, guys. There's no doubt about it. Again, all comes down to that spike tower boost. It gave him enough of an edge on Entu for this whole race that Entu just cannot catch up on. So. TwoC entering the gauntlet now. It's just a nice little section where you gotta go through a quick little maze of places and a bunch of different enemies. I just like to call it the gauntlet. That's just both of them getting through it nice and quickly, though. Getting into the quicksand swing room. TwoC using every bit of damage boost that he can to make it through the green room. It's hard to comment on both of them because they're in two completely different spots. TwoC is really pulling ahead. It looks like he's just a little bit better at executing Quill Shroom than Entu is, that's for sure. Entu being safe on the right here, making sure that he doesn't run into that spike tower. That would probably end his run right. So we're gonna enter the Queen of Quills fight in 2C's room. This is probably one of the longest fights in the entire run. That you want to make sure that she's constantly on the ground so you can actually hit her, because she's quick, she's fast like the messenger or the ninja himself. I'm sorry, and she wants to just stay in the ground and make sure that you can't. So 2C is opting for the whip strategy. He's not going the Kodran strat that was found out recently. I need to make sure to use the duck to make sure he's frame perfect at the edge. Both runners finishing very quickly on the Queen of Quills. So now we're entering the stage where things get to get fun. Searing Crags. In a moment, both of these runners are going to be getting probably the fastest thing in the game, the rope dart. It's not a grappling hook, guys. It's a rope dart. Entu opting for the extra health. Entu is going to do the same. That's going to be utilized more in Tower of Time more than anything. Ooh, bad execution from Entu. Let's see if Entu can pull something off. And he did. So Entu's going to gain up a little bit on 2. This level's all about the climb. You want to use your rope dart as often as possible. Rope dart everything. Rope dart, rope dart, rope dart. You want to get to the top of this mountain as quickly as possible, and this whole level is a climb. There's a couple of long rooms, like you can see what 2C's doing, but even you'll see he's starting to climb some more. Almost every room is you traveling upwards, so any mistake will bite you in the end, because you're going to fall a good distance if you can't recover it quickly. Tusi getting a little bit of a hiccup in trying to get up that platform to the right. But he managed to recover quickly, which is good. Looks like Entu is gaining on him. Looks like he's about second and a half behind him at this point. So it looks like this is going to come down to the RNG of Solos and Clunos. I call them the twins because I really don't know their names. Yeah, they are neck and neck again, guys. Entu has closed that gap by a little. He's just got about a half a second left, and he's right there. So this is going to come down to execution and the RNG that these two did get different of. So let's see how these two play this out. Tusi, looks like Tusi did get the better RNG. He's going a little bit quicker. But Entu did get a little bit of extra damage on the orange one. So we'll see how this plays out. Both of them executing beautifully when they are together on the stream. Both trying to get hits on both of them. But it looks like Tusi did manage to finish it just a little bit before Entu. So Tusi is going to enter Glacial Peak about a second, 2 seconds before. So here we are in Glacial Peak, the culmination of all of the techniques that we've just learned, put into one level and just made into the most fun experience you'll have once you master all of these skills. We're going to see a lot of everything, a lot of rope dart, a lot of wingsuit, a lot of double slashes, or in some cases a slash into a wingsuit slash. It doesn't matter. This is going to be quick. This is going to be fun. this is probably one of the best levels in the game. Fast calls, I am here in chat. I'm just trying to avoid you guys. Both of them executing these skills and these tricks wonderfully. 2C does not opt for the second rope dart there in the where that golem is. Seemed a little strange to me. It's a little bit quicker, but 2C might be playing it safe, trying to not avoid a hiccup to slow him down at any. Doozy finishing off Glacial Peak, about to raise the scroll and summon the Tower of Time, while Entu is not far. So in all reality, let me break this down for people that don't understand. Glacial Peak is about, what would you guys say, about a minute 50 completely, if you do it perfectly, with like a 50-second cutscene at the end of it. So 2C landing a really good time here. Entu right behind him, though, not missing a beat. And here we enter the Tower of Time. I am a little bit behind just because I was coughing. I'm sorry. The introduction of lasers. Lasers do 4 damage, which is why they both picked up an extra piece of health earlier in the game. They want to make sure that they can utilize a damage boost later in this section. I like to say that this is a lot of puzzle platforming. You've got a lot of tricks that are all based around timing. Entu did miss the rope dart to get him over that section a little bit quicker. Let's see if Entu gets it. Entu did get it, so he's going to gain a little bit of time here, but not. What's most important, in my personal opinion, about Tower of Time is avoiding any and all damage that you can and utilizing your shurikens at the exact right moments. If you waste one by accident, it hurts in one room in particular, and it can cost you a good chunk of time, like about 5 seconds. Yes, Dragon Strike points out, Wizroves are evil in the Tower of Time. They're like your main enemy, and they're all over the place, and they go wherever they want and impede your movement. The best of. So it looks like 2C has enough to do the damage boost. Let's see if he pulls this one off and actually does. I don't doubt that he won't, to be completely honest with you. And there he goes. Entu not far behind him at this point. He is definitely going to go for the same damage boost. It's just, can he really catch up with 2C at this point? Both of them getting the first cycle in that one laser room. That is just mean if you are slow even a little. As you see, 2C is utilizing that last shuriken. He had to completely bypass that walk across the room, saving him that nice chunk of time that I had mentioned earlier. and he's utilizing that rope dart to get across each of those buzzsaws to avoid them at all costs. Because if he were to get touched by one of those, it's going to call. TwoC getting a cheeky little whiz robe right at the end of that last room there, as he enters the time waster room, which is just I don't know how to explain time waster room, guys. It's awfully slow. That's shout out to New Game Plus for making time waster room fun. So now TwoC enters the climb while Entu finishes up time waster room. We're about to enter the final boss stage of Arcane Golem, where we get to watch the shopkeepers do. TwoC has invented the move to finish Arcane Golem as quickly as possible. It is called the TwoC special. It is it's quick, it's fun, and it uses the iframes behind the rope dart as best as it. It's just a shame the TwoC special does not stop knockback. Whoa, it did not look like TwoC was about to do the TwoC special, but there he goes, going right. For sure, for TwoC, this is just his bread and butter right here. Utilizing that rope dart to bounce back and forth to avoid getting hit at all costs, finishing with a nice 31-56, getting his first win for the best of three. Hopefully Entu can pull something out and make this a nice actual best of three, and we actually get to see three. GG to both runners. Looking forward to that second race, guys.